G'day, I'm Mark Latham and I've got a question for you. How do you go from a relatively safe environment for women to a hotbed of sexual harassment? Well, in Australia recently we had a report, the official crime statistics showing in terms of sexual assault and sexual harassment, university campuses are 100 times safer for women than the general community. But we've gone from that to this crazy Human Rights Commission report saying that over 50% of university students were sexually harassed on campus last year, 2016. How have we gone from the official statistics to this piece of propaganda? Well, they use all the propaganda and statistical trickery to get to that point. The Human Rights Commission brought in the Hunting Ground Project from the United States. This was condemned by 19 Harvard law professors as propaganda. It was known to be propaganda. Still, the Human Rights Commission want to believe the worst about male students at universities. They want to believe that they're sexual predators. So they brought in the propagandists from the United States, took $150,000 from them, took some money from Universities Australia, $1 million, and they produced this shameful report using all the trickery and all the exaggerations under the sun. They've counted in sexual harassment and assault on public transport to and from universities. Nothing to do with the university grounds. If it was on the public transport 100 miles away, it's counted in. They've counted in parties, off-campus parties and events. Nothing to do with the university, way away from the university, counted in as sexual harassment. They sent out 320,000 surveys. Less than 10% came back from the students. There was such a problem that over 90% of the students couldn't be bothered to return the survey form about sexual harassment from the Human Rights Commission. So they self-selected just 3% of the university population and admitted in the dark recesses, way down the back in the footnotes of the report, they say there is a research bias, that the people who submitted the forms are more likely to have experienced these incidents or be politically campaigning. So it's a jaundiced report at every level. But the craziest thing of the lot, and in fact this is damaging to women and the seriousness of the issue, is to redefine sexual harassment in terms of trivia. And some of the redefinitions are just amazing. Now, I'm a great fan of Seinfeld. People all over the world love Seinfeld, great comedy, great parable and lessons about life, of course. And how did we know that according to the redefinition of sexual harassment by the Human Rights Commission and its report, there were so many problems at Seinfeld? The Human Rights Commission says sexual harassment is a sexually suggestive joke, a dirty joke. Well, plenty of those on Seinfeld. Let's have a look at one of them.
You caved? It's over? You're out? Oh my God, the Queen is dead.
I figured you'd cruise, at least through the spring.
What happened?
It was, John.
Oh, John.
That was the classic scene from the contest. They're all in on the joke, but apparently that's sexual harassment. Another great scene in Seinfeld was Cosmo Kramer talking about Elaine's weight. Well, according to the Human Rights Commission, if you make intrusive, repeated comments about a woman's physical appearance, that classifies as sexual harassment. Well, here's Kramer.
What?
You're getting heavy. Yeah, you look like you put on 10 pounds.
Maybe it's the Oreos.
So I don't eat Oreos.
You don't eat Oreos? The way you break them open, you're
Practically having sex with it.
Another crazy redefinition, apparently staring, ogling at a good-looking woman is defined as sexual harassment. Well, they're all into it in Seinfeld. Here's the great scene with the topless Jane.
Jane's topless.
yo ma.
Boutros, golly.
Nice rack.
All right, show's over. I'm going to lunch.
And then the final redefinition is to say if a guy asks a girl out too many times on a date and even seeks a bit of hanky-panky in a civil, decent way, that also is sexual harassment. Well, all Seinfeld, they're all guilty of it, all guilty of it. Let's have a look at Jerry and Elaine doing a bit of courtship.
What?
Another shot. I want another shot.
You mean?
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't think.
Come on. One shot, I could do it. I know I could do it.
It is out of the question. You know what sex does to a friendship? It kills it.
Half hour. Give me a half hour.
No.
All right, let's go. I'll give you half an hour.
So we can see there from Seinfeld the absolute trivia to which the Human Rights Commission has descended. They've wanted to exaggerate, they've wanted to get into propaganda, they wanted to demonise the male university students. This is not decent research, it's an absurdity. Part of an international campaign against so-called white male privilege and demonising men, even though we know the university campuses are relatively safe for women, particularly compared to the general community. At the bottom line, after all these exaggerations, all this statistical trickery, all the Human Rights Commission could come up with was a bottom line figure of 1.6% of students experiencing sexual assault over the last 2 years. We haven't got a rape culture at Australian universities. We've got the best and brightest of our young people going through a system that is relatively sound and relatively safe for women. It's a disgrace what's happened. This is a radical redefinition of the English language and common sense notions to try and prove a political point. It's a disgrace. I'm Mark Latham for Rebel Australia. And if you like that video, please share it on all your social media and with your friends. Go to marklathamsoutsiders.com to join up for all our Rebel Australia activities. Come on board.